Hello everybody and welcome back. As promised, we managed to get over to 200 subscribers, so I thank each and every one of you who has subscribed and those who continue to subscribe. You've also sent in your questions, so we'll just dive straight in. And the first question comes from Jack, who asks, are you going to Insomnia 57 for a fan meetup? The very first time I heard about Insomnia 57, Jack, was when I read your question, so unfortunately I haven't planned to go. The next question comes from Ollie, who asks, what is your best ever experience? My best ever experience was last summer in the state of California in a little known place called Yuba City. It's a place where I met lots of new people who were amazing to spend time with, particularly when we were around the piano. People of all different ages around together singing songs. It was amazing. The best ever experience for me. The next question comes from Joe, who asks, where do you get inspiration for music? Joe, I get inspired by the Bible. The Bible as a whole, but particularly the Psalms, which are songs for those who know. So, in fact, the last video that we did, Those Who Wait, was based on Psalm 27 verses 14. So my inspiration for music comes from the Bible and particularly the Psalms. The next question comes from Adam, who asks, what would your advice to any aspiring musicians be? I'll answer that in three parts. The first thing is, have a musician to aspire to. What musician do you know who does the kind of thing that you would one day like to do? Find that musician. For me, when I was learning piano, it was a musician called Larry Cully. He's a musician I still listen to. I've learned so much from him, and that's what I have as that's where I would like to be one day. The second thing is practice. Create a practice schedule. You will get nowhere without practicing. Whether it's 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day, or whatever it is you can afford, make the time and stick to it. The third thing would be have a mentor. Find somebody who you can go to, somebody who you can trust, somebody who you can ask musical questions, and that will be able to give you advice and help you. And it doesn't even have to be somebody who makes the kind of music you make. For instance, my mentor is more of a choral director kind of musician, but is still somebody I respect, somebody I go to and ask for advice, and I find that really, really beneficial. So three things: have a musician to aspire to, create a practice schedule, and find a mentor. Sophie asks a question, any advice for people learning piano and dealing with piano grades? So Sophie, as I mentioned, Larry Cully is my musician to aspire to. Greg Howlett is another pianist who does some really, really great stuff. And for those of you who have different instruments, find the person that does your instrument really, really well. And the next part of your question, dealing with piano grades. You obviously have the piano book, whether it's grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. But the thing I would advise you to do is set a deadline. When are you going to complete this grade? Because a deadline would do two things for you. The first thing is it will make sure you practice, like you said. And then the second thing, it'll give you the energy to get the grade done and move on to the next one. So deadlines and a musician, a pianist for you, Sophie, to aspire to. Final question from Jack says, if you could learn a musical instrument that you haven't already learned, what would it be and why? Well, Jack, the musical instrument that I would like to learn one day is the violin. I find the violin to be such an expressive instrument, similar to the cello actually. It's a musical instrument that is just filled with so much emotion, so much energy, even more than the piano, dare I say. And if I could learn the violin, that would be the musical instrument that would be on my list to learn. So if somebody out there has a violin that they do nothing with, that they would like to send and give to me, send it to me, and I will learn the violin. So thank you each and every one of you for your questions. Perhaps when we get to 300 subscribers, we can do another one of these. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for subscribing, and I look forward to sharing more with you in 2016. Have a great one. Bye-bye.